Okay, I'm firing it up here, Clint, and I'll go over a few things. First of all, the most important thing is to make sure there's water in the boiler and through the sight glass there. And I'll send along this plug-in, just a quick disconnect plug-in drain. It's a drain and water in. And of course, you can only do that when it's hot or when it's cold. I mean, jeez. And then there's the water pump. You can use the water pump. Looks real good. I'll just pump it a few times here. And that's pumping water right into that boiler. Out of that little container down there. You can use any kind of container you want. Put a different hose on it if you want. That's just what I happen to have. And then the fire, I've got just kind of a medium-sized fire going. You can put a lot more in these boilers than I've put in here, especially if you're going to use it a lot. You can spread out the fire quite a ways left and right. And it's got a draft door and an ash pan, which needs cleaning out occasionally. There's the blower. When you get a little bit of steam pressure up, then you can use this blower here to increase the draft. Pulling steam from the boiler up the stack. But they're a very efficient boiler and they really don't need it, but it's nice to have once in a while. If you put a load of wood in there and you want it to go off, start burning really fast. And these are the tri-cocks. And the safety valve is set at 125 on it, but I think it goes off a little below that. The whistle, of course this hose and this valve I've got to keep. You can get steam hose a lot of different places, or just plumb it in with solid pipe in your location, just some 3/8 or 1/2 inch pipe. The exhaust coming out this side, I don't know how you're going to orient the engine, but if you can get this exhaust over that exhaust right there, right here. If you can plumb it in up and going up the stack, similar to how the blower is done, then that will increase your draft while the engine is running as well. Now put a little handle on the whistle. Looks good. And I'll run the engine here too. So it's kind of the back side of it, which is not much going on this side of it. And it's good to have the cocks open on it. This one here and this one here, just to let the water out of the cylinder. And forward and reverse, you can go either way with it. It doesn't really matter. Maybe one way or the other. The valve timing might be a little bit better on one direction or the other. Oh, and this is the oiler, hydrostatic oiler. It uses steam pressure to force the oil out of here and into the engine when it's coming in. This is kind of an emergency oiler that I always put on them in case you don't have enough steam pressure, but you can always put a few squirts of oil in there instead of using this if it seems like it needs it. So I'm going to open the valve here a little bit and get it running. See the water coming out of there? All that condensation's in there. Then you want to turn those off. And that's normal for steam to be, because it condensates and creates water. So I always get all that out of there, because if that piston comes up against hard water, it's it's just going to break the piston probably. So I always roll it over a few times with the flywheel. And it also warms up the cylinder too. The piston and the cylinder get warmed up. And I've put some oil in here just to start it off with. It's always kind of good to do that. So I'll turn these off now. This cock's off. I don't know what direction I've got it going in. Kind of moves around a little bit, so you might want to bolt it down. It's just sitting on that cart. Nice engine though, runs really good. And like I say, take that steam and go up through the exhaust, up through the shaft. Just plumb it up there. And it's got forward and reverse. I'll see if I can, with one hand, if I can get it into reverse. Now it's going the other way. So it goes both directions, really nice. And I'm going to let it run here and build up steam pressure. And real nice engine though, runs really well. And not all of that steam that's coming out the engine will be going up the stack. And you won't have it going out into somebody's face. And you can remove those wood base here if you want to. You don't have to, you can use them if you want to, but you might have a different way of mounting it. Okay, so see, it's holding pressure, really good pressure, so this boiler is definitely big enough for this engine. And it's actually going up in steam, and it's going to pop off here at about 120 or something like that. With the engine running, the water is going to go down a little bit too in the boiler. So you need to, pump water into it occasionally. When you pump water into it, of course, it's going to cool the boiler down a little bit. So it continues to climb here, even with the engine running. Nice setup. And I'm going to weld tabs on the corners. I think on this side or this side, I'll weld a big tab down there so you can bolt it down to your deck. That's about it.